countries across the global world and every state in the Union. So welcome everyone to our review session of October 9th, Board of Education. We trust and hope that you're in good health and happy. Let me just set the agenda for this evening. We have a relatively short evening, members of the board and public and viewing audience. We have a special presentation from one of our partners and friends who works very well with our students. Followed by that, I'm going to ask Julie and I think it's Marcasia, right? Julie and Marcasia, I know who you are. I just like to pick on her. Julie and Marcasia are going to do a very brief presentation on our American Rescue Fund's audit, and I'll talk more about it. Then we're going to do an agenda review, and I would remind everybody who's watching and everybody that's here, of course, next week's board meeting is on Wednesday the 15th. Not the 16th. So just a reminder to everybody, I'll say it again at the conclusion. We go from the 16th to the 15th. Okay?
I'm the only one that forgot. It's okay.
You didn't forget. You didn't forget. It's really, members of the board, you pass a lot of resolutions and you give a lot of support to our students. And we are really pleased with all of our programs, and I'd like to highlight them from time to time. We're fortunate to have one of our great partners who's become a personal friend to me and to the district come and spend about 15 or 20 minutes to talk about his program. You did approve it at your last meeting, but we do like to bring him in from time to time, not only to refresh your memory about the program, but also to give an update on some of the successes and challenges. So I think I met Reverend Copeland. I think we met at the high school, Rev. Is that correct? Is that where I met you when I was at the high school, or was it a little bit after? Gene Copeland, Mark Laurie, yeah. Yeah. And we've had, I was just talking about what a great friend you are to me, and you can't even remember who I am. But we met at the high school, and I saw the immediate impact he's had with students, and he's continued to do that. He's expanded and expanding into schools. He's got a great team with him. And we're fortunate to have him. More importantly, he's got his wife with him, who is my favorite member of his family. So, Reverend Copeland, would you come forward and address the board and give them an update on where you're at? Reverend Copeland was here about a year ago, so.
Yeah, we were here about a year ago. Thank you so much. I'm really honored to be here. I think I'll start by introducing the finest team I could possibly have in Niagara Falls. I'm going to ask them to stand real quick and just introduce yourselves real quick. Starting with
My name is Lauren Carey. I'm Stephanie Hudson.
and Miss Warren. She's one of your social workers, and she decided because of what she observed in our program, perhaps maybe 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years. She said she wanted to be here just to take 2 or 3 minutes to say something about the program, okay? So I'm going to ask Ms. Warren to come first and just say something, and then I'll start. You take about a couple of minutes.
Okay. Yes. I have extreme anxiety, so when you said how many countries in that,
no, I'm kidding. It was a joke. It was a joke. They're only watching in Niagara Falls.
I'm a school social worker. I work with Miss Manella up there at Cataract. And I was at LaSalle a couple years ago, and I was in there with them as they were working with our kiddos, during lunch. But they were super cool because what they did at the very end is they took our behavioral, our 15-to-1 that had a lot of behaviors, took just that class afterwards in there, and they worked with them. And they did such amazing breakthrough with these kids. Normally, especially middle school kids, they bonded with each other, and they break down the walls of them, especially when they're in there together. But then once they're out amongst the rest of the school, then it's a little bit different then. But at least it was nice to be in there and then be able to work with the kids when he wasn't there the rest of the time. And Miss Manella has us also going in there with the kiddos during that when he's there. So it's nice to be able to hear what's going on and what they're doing, so that during the week we can work with them and
Right.
also use what he says with the kiddos in that. So, but yeah, it's a great program. And I was gonna bring my daughter who went through it, but she was like anxiety too, so I was like, all right,
Well,
fine.
You
So-
did a really good job, and what I really liked what you said was that Reverend Copeland and team can't be there all the time.
Right,
But while you're there observing and supporting, you're learning the same language and techniques. So in his absence or in his team's absence, you're able to carry through with students the tenets, the wording, the language, and the supports that you're learning as he's teaching it, and that keeps things going and embeds it in the students. So what you said was powerful.
yes. And well, I will say that my daughter, because I asked like, what did you like about it and that, and then she said like the stories that they had and that the positivity that they brought to the school.
That's great.
And that
Thank
was
you.
middle school.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I want to start off by again thanking Dr. Mark Laurie for allowing me to come here, to be in the district for the years I've been here, as well as I consider it an honor and a privilege to be able to present before this board. Our program is, I would say, a very unique program. We call it Project WIT, acronym for Wisdom in Troubled Times. And we have discovered something that we feel is so unique. We begin to call it, we say, we are creating the future of public schools today. 2 words, intrinsic motivation. We are motivating these students from the inside out. And I'm honored to say that for the 3rd year in a row, our 3rd year, we're going to be presenting data to you that is really kind of eye-opening. The data we're going to present to you is not only showing you, because our first thought was get the grades up, changing attitudes, and we did that for the last couple of years. This year, something happened that we are seeing that's happening in this program. Not only are we seeing in terms of students getting their grades up, but I'm going to be reading you a few letters where students are now saying to us that this program, Speak Like Twice, okay, has caused many of them, they're saying to us, I was going to commit suicide before I came to this program. I was depressed before I came to the program. I was cutting myself before I came to the program. The program put me in a whole different mental state of mind. When the students come into our program, the first thing they hear is applause. And you're like, whoa, what are you doing? We create an atmosphere where they are celebrated, not tolerated. Big difference. We feel the program, and I'm so honored that you entrust your students to us, and that's why we feel it's our responsibility to give you data to show you what's going on and to read some of the letters that I'm going to read. But I want to do something I did the last time I was here, Dr. Laurie, and that is...
You just made me a doctor. Thank you. Only you have that power.
We call it Speak Like Twice. Speak Like Twice is very simple but profound. I may say to Ms. Dunn, I may say something like, Ms. Dunn, your future is so bright, you're going to have to wear sunglasses. I spoke it to her. But speaking like twice means I have to speak it to me. So I may say something like, I'm not a whiner, I'm a winner. I'm not a mess, I'm a success. I'm not a chump, I'm a champion. And it goes on and on, okay? But when was the last time you said to a student, and we do this all the time, 3 words I want you to say, and we say this with the students. Repeat this after me. Say this. Say, I am amazing.
I'm amazing.
Say it again. Say, I'm amazing.
I'm amazing.
I'm amazing.
Now close your eyes for a minute and say, I am amazing.
I'm amazing.
Turn to someone and tell them, you're amazing.
You're
You
amazing.
really are. You really are. No,
amazing.
you are amazing.
Tony, you're amazing.
Now, I want you to put on your 7th or 8th grade mentality.
Right.
Okay?
What do you say?
And I want you to, this is something that we share with them. We call them power words. Okay? I put on my board words of life versus words of death. They know about words of death. You stank, your mama this, blah, 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 blah. They know all that negativity. But we introduce them to something very unique. Words of life. They're not used to positive words. Let me give you an example, and I did it the last time, but I'm gonna do it again. Would you entertain me a little bit? Can everybody just stand up for a second? I want you to pretend like you're a 17th grader. And all I need you to do,
Yeah. No.
all I need you to do is say these words after me, but you gotta say it with attitude. All right? Ready? I want everybody looking at me because I make sure the kids are engaged. They gotta be looking at Reverend Copeland or one of my staff members. Repeat this, say, this year.
This year.
It's a little wimpy, give me a little more.
Oh.
This year
This year
is going to be
is going to be
one of
one of
the best years.
the best years of my life. This month is going to be one of
Best months
the best
of my
months
life.
of my life.
This week
This
is going to be
is going to be
one of
one of
the best weeks
the best weeks
of my life.
of my life.
And today,
And today, without a doubt, baby, is going to be
one of
one of
the best days
the best days
of my life.
of my life.
Because I'm a winner.
I'm a winner.
I'm not a loser.
Not a loser. I'm a leader.
I'm not a loser.
I'm not a loser. I will make my mom proud.
I'll make my teachers glad,
I'll make my teachers glad.
not sad.
Not sad.
Because I got a new attitude, baby.
Because I knew attitude.
I'm happy. I'm not snappy.
I'm not sad.
And with my new attitude,
My new attitude. Terrific Tuesday. Wonderful Wednesday.
thrilling Thursday,
Thrilling Thursday.
a fantastic Friday,
Fantastic
a
Friday.
sensational Saturday, and a super Sunday. Dude, I'm just too cool to act like a fool up in this school. I'm too smart to be stupid. And why should I settle for less? If I can have the best. Here's my secret. To get the best, are you willing to give your best? I don't know about you, but I'm willing to give my life, my education, my best, every day, one day at a time. Dude, I'm not a whiner. I'm a winner. I'm not a mess. I'm a success. I'm not a chump. I'm a champion.
I'm a champion.
I'm a creator. And the rest of my life,
The rest of my life
will be the best of my
will be
life.
the best of my life.
I said the rest of my life
The rest of my life
will be the best of my life. Simply because,
simply because
dude, I'm not ordinary.
I'm not ordinary. I'm extraordinary.
Real quickly, because Mr. Lord,
You've got 10 minutes.
shout out at me. How did some of those words, shout out, how did they make you feel? Great. Winner. Great. Joyful.
We're smiling the whole time.
Wonderful. Watch this.
Smiling.
I didn't give you candy. I didn't give you flowers. I didn't give you a card. I didn't give you money. I gave you words of life. And you told me in a short period of time, it made you feel like that. Can you imagine a student going home in a day, every day, one day at a time, looking in the mirror in the morning, in the afternoon, and last thing at night, speaking words of life to themselves, to their siblings, to others? Okay? I'm going to let you know, I'm going to show you an idea of what happens when this takes place. Because now they're intrinsically motivated and they're inspired to be their best. I'm going to ask my wife if she would pass out. We've got 12 of them. I don't know who should they. I don't know who should get one of these.
Right around the board table.
Right around this table. Could you just give everybody one, please? As she's doing that, I want to first give you an idea. I want to read. We have about thank you very much. Of these. We take their pictures. We ask them at the end of the program. Give me your before and after. What is this how does this program help you? How did it help you in your life? How did it help you academically? And here's some of the reports we're getting now. I'm going to read about 4 or 5 of them. One student says this, Riley. Before I came here, I was struggling with my mental health. I wasn't sure if I would make it. Now I'm more focused than ever on speaking words of life. This program should stay in our school to help students because you never know what is going on in someone else's head. Another young man, Christian. So before I was in this program, I would get bullied by my brothers at home. And when they would bully me, I would always say to myself that I wish I was dead. But ever since I've joined this program, I have stopped saying I wish that I was dead to myself. Lana says this, before I came to this program in 7th grade, I was in a very bad place in life. I was insecure, I was depressed, and I let other people's opinions get to me. At one point, I even ended up in a mental hospital. But coming to this program taught me to not only speak words of life to others, but to myself as well, also known as Speak Life Twice. I would invite a friend to this program because they could be going through the same thing I was. They may need the help that I did. I feel like this program should stay in the school because it teaches students that they matter, that they are not ordinary, but they are extraordinary. Nyshawn says this, I was depressed. Then this program brought some brightness to my life. I would invite someone else because this program can help them with their lives. This program should stay in the school because it helps you not make bad choices in life. Last one. Well, close to it. Before this program, I was really feeling insecure about myself, and sometimes I had suicidal thoughts. And this program really helped me to stop thinking that way. This program is sharing the school because I know a lot of people that have suicidal thoughts and that are insecure about themselves, and I know this program would help them. Last one. Before I came here, I hated myself, but now I love myself. Every day I speak words of life to myself. The reason why I think this program should stay in the school is because it prevents so many young people from killing themselves. I have dozens of letters like that. And that's why I first stated that it's motivating students to not just get their grades up, but also coming out of these dark places. The other thing I want to share with you, what you have in your hands, data. 3rd year in a row, our data states this. Gaskill. 90% of the 7th and 8th graders in Gaskill, and we had 82 students in Gaskill, 90% of them did not have to go to the summer school. Out of that 92%, 88% of them were 8th graders, okay, and then 88%, right, and 92% of them were 7th graders. In LaSalle, we had 106 students. Out of 106 students, 103 of them, or 97% of these students from LaSalle Prep enrolled in our program, successfully passed to the next grade level, and did not have to attend the summer prep recovering program. Out of that group, 96% were 7th graders, and 98% were 8th graders. I'm honored to be able to share this information with you. One of the things that we are sharing with our students that we think is pretty much life-changing, a very simple statement. You can change your life by changing the words coming out of your mouth. You have the power to help change someone else's life by the words coming out of your mouth. And one thing I share with the students, there's 4 kinds of words. Spoken words, written words, body language words, and silent words. And I was talking to several social workers in one of the schools and asked the question, all these words can be, those 4 types of words can be positive or they can be negative. But I asked the social workers, out of those 4 types of words, which one, when you talk about the negative side, which ones are the most deadliest? Spoken words, written words, body language words, or silent words? And we came to the conclusion that, even though they kind of differ, that silent words, words that a person thinks in their mind over and over and over again. You can say something negative to a student, another student says something, and they're trying to smile, trying to act like it didn't bother them, but they go home, and these words are in the morning, at night, they're thinking about them. We've interrupted that by giving them power words. We put together 101 things to say to speak life into your day. And it's working. Changing their language is profound and is absolutely powerful. I asked this last question. I'm going to ask you this question. I asked my students this. What gives words their power? What gives your words their power? And the answer, and I got to move on because I got about 4 minutes here. What gives words their power is when you believe them. And our problem with a lot of people in society, in our students, they believe the negative words spoken to them more than the positive. But when they come to this environment, and I'm very grateful, we got 5 schools here, and we're hoping that we can continue not only from October to December, but from January to May. Because I believe we're going to see some more profound results in the program. And so we're really excited about the difference, the transformation of lives, so much so that, last thing here, principals have said to me, have asked me, pulled me aside, said, Reverend Copeland, can you do a professional development for the teachers? Let them see what you're doing. They want to know what you're doing. Can you give them a taste of what you're doing? So a lot of times they give me an hour to sit down and really give a professional development for teachers. And we call it, Teachers Are World Changers. Who motivates the motivator? When they get in this session, I have literally hundreds of letters from students, from teachers, lauding that professional development. And you have, it's in your notes here. One teacher said this course should be mandated to all the people in areas of education along with other care facilities. I can take some ideas and use them in my classroom tomorrow. Another one said, I've never been to a professional development that touched me so personally. It brought tears to my eyes. I'm looking forward to the next time you are here. Principals are saying some of the same things. Ms. Tompkins said this from Abbott. What an overwhelmingly wonderful response we had from teachers and staff members on your professional development session. Our faculty found your program highlights to be very impactful, uplifting, and empowering. I challenge anyone that can hear me from the sound of my voice. I challenge you. I don't care what it is you're going through in life. If you will begin to speak words of life to yourself first and to others, you go into your home and begin to speak words of life to your spouse, your significant other, your children. I guarantee you, you're going to see a change in their lives. One person that was one of my volunteers, he came to me, he said he went home and he spoke to his son, and he said, son, because they were always conflicted. He said, I see great things out of you, son, and I'm expecting great things for you to manifest in your life. He said, just saying those words change their relationship, because people are so negative. In our from White House to down, people are just talking so negative. It's time to transform a generation. And we are seeing, for the 3rd year in a row in terms of this data, that this program is transforming lives. Teachers, I've seen it. I've seen male teachers literally during our workshops break down and weep They cried. Sitting in what we call the love seat. That's another whole story. I'll tell you about that when I get another chance. I think my time is up. Thank you for allowing me to share.
Reverend, thank you. It's always good. And you make such strong points about words. That words matter. Words mean things. One of my favorite books is something called, I don't know if you've ever read The Four Agreements. It's a really good book. And the first agreement is to be precise with your words. When we're not precise with our words, that's when we get into those negative habits. So I thank you very much for your wisdom in troubled times, because it is a troubled time for many. And you help bridge that gap. So I thank you for that. Now, two things. You have one of our parents here with you, who's working with you, right?
Yes.
You're a parent, and I appreciate you being here. Did you want to make a comment? Because you and I had a lengthy but great meeting last year.
Yes, I did. My name is Lauren Carey. Again, I'm honored to be a part of Reverend Copeland's team. But before I was a parent in the district, I was a student in the district, and there was no program like this for us. And I think that if there were, maybe life would have been a little bit different for me. I'm thankful for where I'm at, but it has taken me a really long time to get here. But even as a parent in the district, before coming to Niagara Falls School District, I was with charter, so it was an entirely different ballgame. But so far I've had some concerns, I've had some problems, I would say, but immediately Mr. Laurie addressed them. He sat me down, we had a meeting, as well as Mr. Wilton as well. Very, very wonderful people here. I'm thankful to be able to be a part of what he's doing, and genuinely I'm just looking forward to the growth of the district, and hopefully being able to see the growth of this program throughout more schools as well. So
thank you, Ms. Carey.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thanks for trusting us with your child.
Thank you.
Now, just a fun fact. Reverend Copeland is a Hall of Famer. We have a very famous musician who sits next to me. But you're in the Music Hall of Fame, aren't you?
Yes, I was inducted into the Buffalo Music Hall of Fame in 2010 for music that I wrote when I was a teenager. And fortunately, someone discovered my music in New York City, Daptone Records, and when we did it as children, it was only presented in Buffalo. But Daptone Records loved it so much they put it all over the world. And a gentleman by the name of, anybody ever heard of a guy named Tyler Perry?
Yep.
Tyler Perry heard a song that I wrote years ago called I Gotta Find a Way. He loved it so much, he put it in his movie. The movie was called Why Did I Get Married To? And what I love about it, kids don't believe this. They don't believe me until I actually bring an album for my CD. Or they go in and Google it, Bob and Gene. And they say, oh my God, he's not lying. Okay, it's all over the world. And I tell my students, it came out in 2010. And from 2010 to right now, for the last 15 years, I've been getting royalty checks every time that movie is played in all over the world. Because my song is in there, we get royalty checks. So to be able to tell a student, you never know what will happen in your life. Be the best you can possibly be. And I'm really honored to be able to share that, because it really blows their mind when I tell them that.
Yeah.
But I am really honored. Thank you.
Well, I wanted to make sure that everybody watching would start watching the movie and downloading it too. So that was the real reason I did that. But he brought me the album too one time, and I'm like, that's you. That's you. Well, your group was what was your group?
Bob and Gene.
Bob and Gene.
Googling Bob
and Gene. I want to call him Jan and Dean. Was there a group Jan and Dean?
Yeah, there was.
That wasn't you. You're Bob and Dean.
I'm Gene of Bob and Gene, right?
Got it. I got it.
On the back of that information, Teachers of World Changers talks a little bit about the Bob and Gene story. You can Google it and see. I'll just say this here. Several of the songs blew my mind. I mean, that was the first song was in 1967, before a lot of you was even born. And you realize the music is so popular, we looked at, what's the name of that website? One of the websites' music, and it's like 3 million people listen to it. Another one, 2 million. It's just incredible what's doing. So I'm just really excited about that. And the kids are too, because they can go and actually tell their parents, "Oh my God, Mom, we got somebody famous in our classroom."
Yeah.
One student wanted me to actually give them an autograph. I said, "It's not that deep."
Yeah. Well, you also said it's $25 for the autograph. No, I'm kidding. Geez, I'm kidding. Thank you so much. We always enjoy having you here. And to your great team, thank you very much. You're always an inspiration for being here. And this is illustrative of a lot of the programs that we have in our schools. And I think it's always good, the board trustingly passes resolutions and programs and impacts, but it's nice to always bring some of the program to see what you're voting for and what you're passing. And you have such a powerful word, and we appreciate you and your staff, and thank you for being here. This is a very difficult segue because we're going to go from such an upbeat, great presentation to an audit report. I can't think of a more downing thing, but that's where we're going to go. Julie and Marquise, would you come forward? Oh, I'm sorry. Reverend, we have a student member of the school board now. She's an ad hoc member. She sits at the table. She's a high school senior. She's an extraordinary young lady. This is Harjat Kaur. She wasn't here the last time you presented, and she'd like to make a comment.
Hi, so just hearing your presentation, everything is, honestly, obviously looking at the charts, I'm seeing a big difference. Like, this is really good stuff. I work with our trauma-informed care team at Niagara Falls High School, and I definitely, just from hearing what you stated up there, it really helped me be more motivated as someone who also struggles with, kind of sometimes we all have those low days where we don't feel as motivated. And honestly, like, if that was provided more often, even in high schools, like a regular kind of thing, that would build a really good routine. However, I do have a question. How do you end up getting the students to join and participate in the program? That is true. That is true. It works. Snacks do work.
How we give the principals decide. We want them, of course, to do that. We let them know what our expertise is. So, and we work with them obviously during lunchtime, so there's no academic time being wasted. Okay. When we get there, we do offer. They're there for lunch. We offer some snacks, something to drink, cookies, some chips. They love that. And we've had several students say, "I used to go for the snacks, but now that I've really started listening, my grade went up from the mayor goes on honor roll." Okay? Because that's just like a little strong house. And with this incredible staff that I have, to be able to share real life stories about why you have a positive attitude, why you speak what's like yourself. That's what's really pushing for the whole concept of speaking words like I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, this is great. Thank you so much.
Actually, I have a question. So the students are selected, I'm assuming the students are aware that they're going to be going to the meeting with you in the presentation? Because I'm just going off of what you said. You said the students are selected by the principal or principals. Do the students know that they will be attending this? Or is the first time that they're hearing about it when you grab them to go to the event? Gotcha. Okay.
And so therefore, there are selected students that do know. And what happens is, and this happens really a lot at Gaskill, where students come and they start bringing other students. Like today, in Gaskill, we had 49 students in one group. Okay. Fortunately, we never proper screaming out none of that because a lot of them came from Abbott. So they know we're all about it. Okay. And so that's just like, it shows the power of the program. They feel like, we're speaking words like this. And there's just so much going on with that that's really helping the students.
Good question.
That our next step, just a little sidebar real quick, is we're going to be looking to work with parents of the students that we're working with. So can you imagine parents coming after school, getting the same type of motivational and understanding the power of their words? Okay? Matter of fact, Ms. Lauren said to me, she sent me she got 7 kids, I think one's on the way.
It's on the way.
And she said to me, Reverend Goldman, I've noticed that I have more patience, I'm doing this, and it's just impacting me already. And she's only been with us for 2 weeks. So it works, it does, it really works. It's just a matter of changing, and when you really love it, okay, you really see a difference. And that's what we're seeing with these kids. They love feeling inspired and motivated. And they need to be inspired.
I have another comment. I have to tell you, that was really impactful, what you just did. The fact that you were able to get almost all of us up to participate in that. No, I'm serious. For those of us that got up and got into the moment of that, it was almost subliminal. I mean, I didn't even know I was doing it. I just did it because of the energy that you brought. And I mean, I think I needed that and didn't know I needed it. And I think those of us that participated needed it and didn't know that we needed it. And then the other, so thank you for that. That was awesome. And if it made me feel that way, I can imagine what it would do to the young adults that are in the schools. Second, just as a parent, your message of speaking positivity into existence is really what I'm hearing. It's hard for all of us, right? If we're having a bad day, to present that bad day onto other people. I'm kind of choking me up a little bit. Like, it was a really great message, and I wanted to say thank you for that, because even myself, I could even do a better job of being more positive, and I can definitely see where this is making a very big impact to the youth, because it made an impact for me. So thank you. It was great. Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else? Watch this. We're going to now have an awesome audit. Let's have an awesome audit. Oh, and here they come, two awesome people.
Well, at least they're smiling.
They are smiling. I just want to, obviously, this is our treasurer, Julie Jacqueline, and the other young lady, who I tend to call her by the wrong name, even though now it's become a joke, right? This is Markesia McCreary. How did I do? She's an accountant in our business office. We actually stole her from Drescher and Malecki, and I am so glad we stole her, because she's doing an awesome job as an accountant. They're here today, and let me just set the tone before we show you the 4 slides that we need to show you. I just want to take you back. I try to block this year out of my mind. I think it was 2020, March 13th, when we had a team meeting with many of the people sitting over there, because we heard this thing called COVID was coming, and we didn't even know what was going to happen. By the 17th, schools were closed, if you remember back. Thankfully, the federal government issued money to school districts for PPE, learning loss, et cetera, et cetera. At the time, the federal government issued money to us in the form of 2 acronyms called GEAR and ESSER.
ESSER, yep.
ESSER and GEAR. The amount of money that was issued and that we're talking about in this audit was $17,800,000 approximately. And that came with zero guidance. Zero. No guidance. So what we did is we used all of our best audit practices and implemented using the money. About over 2 years ago, was it over 2 years ago? Over 2 years ago, they came in and began auditing our district. They stayed 2 years because, in my opinion, they couldn't leave without finding something. Because that's not why auditors exist. And I can say that because my son is an auditor. But they have left us with 4 findings on our audit money. We are going to respond. We have to respond to this audit. And because we are in disagreement with their findings, I want you to see why we're in disagreement and what we're going to respond back. I set that tone about March 13th, 2020, because there were no guidance, there was just money and said, use it. I remember Rick got some guidance that he had to use so much of it on learning loss, and the rest we could use on other things. That was about the extent of it. So they stayed for 2 years. We've been waiting. I kind of jokingly told these ladies, don't answer the phone if they call, because I've been waiting for this. This is a draft finding. We're going to respond this way. If they really listen to our responses, my hope is that they remove these findings, because I feel A, they're nitpicky, but I want you to see them, and B, no money was involved. It was a lot of what I would think and say are really nitpicking things. So I want to go through this with you so that you're well aware of what was written. This, however, is draft.
Yes.
This is draft. We have to respond. Then the government says, well, you know what? They were right. We're going to take this one off, that one off. Or, nope, we're not taking it off. Is that how it works, Julie?
Yep.
But I wanted you to see the draft because, quite frankly, we're not going to agree with everything that was put down. So there were 4 findings. The first one, and Maria, you might want to jump in and help us on this one too. And please finish what I don't complete. Everyone who's paid for out of a federal grant or with federal money has to sign a form acknowledging that they're getting paid for out of a federal grant or federal money. Maria has a process with Human Resources where she goes into the schools with her team and makes sure that everybody does that and understands what they're signing for. In finding number 1, we did not have what didn't we have on there?
We did not have the complete grant name, so we would have you were paid out of the CARES Act, which is what that first round of COVID money was called. Or in some cases, we just had the account code,
Right.
Which would specify that it was CARES money, but it did not say ESSER 1 or GEAR 1.
Listen to this. It's a finding. The form didn't say ESSER 1 or GEAR 1 on it. It said everything else, but it didn't say ESSER 1 or GEAR 1. It's an audit finding. I mean, really? Show me the guidance that said that. Show me the guidance where that had to be. That's a finding that we have. So you can judge for yourself. Should we? I guess we should have stopped in the middle of COVID and made phone calls. But it didn't say ESSER 1 or GEAR 1 on the form. Everything else on the form, totally complete. The minute they told us that, we went back and changed them, and every one of them was made to say that. That's a finding. It's really tough to swallow when you're at that level of a detail of a finding and spent 2 years. Next one. Which one is this?
This is the procurement.
Yeah. Let me set the stage and then you could explain it. Every July 1st, 2nd, 4th, 10th, at your reorg meeting, you approve a procurement or purchasing policy. You can think back to your, you approve it. It meets the uniform standard requirements of the purchasing policy as checked by Drescher and Malecki, et cetera, et cetera. Take it away, Julie.
So there were 5 instances where they found that we were not in compliance with our policy or the uniform guidance. And we disagree because in all of these, in 4 of these instances, the individual unit costs for the items purchased ranged anywhere between $17.95 to $978 per unit. Per our purchasing policy, which is also in compliance with uniform guidance, any item that's below the $1,500 threshold, we use judgment or catalog pricing. In all of these instances, these were supplies purchased for PPE. These were masks, hand sanitizer, soap, Clorox wipes. The 978, those were desktop computers. So we feel we are in compliance with our policy.
We went back to the purchasing policy that you approved. It's on the books that beats all the other audits. It said these are under $1,500. Those wipes cost $17.95. Remember we needed to buy wipes? We did not go out and get 3 bids for them. That's your policy. It says you don't have to do that. Yet, they gave us an audit finding on it. I don't agree. Your policy is correct. Your policy meets uniform purchasing guidelines. I can't write back and say I agree with that. I really can't. So I'm going to say we don't agree. The board approved a policy that under this threshold, which is allowable by law, we followed it. To put something in writing that says we didn't get 3 bids on a $17.98 bottle of Clorox is not right. During the height of a pandemic. Well,
Correct.
yeah. That's what's on there. So I just want to be real clear. I want to be really clear about this. I don't want to hide or run away from it, but I also want you to know I'm not going to accept that because I don't agree with it. The third one's one of my favorites.
So their third finding was on asset management and inventory. So one of their requests was for us to provide them with inventory listings, which we did. Ray has a list for technology. We have a list in the business office of assets that are capitalized for our financial statement purposes. And then, you know, there were some other, maintenance has a list of inventory. So there were several lists, but they wanted one comprehensive database.
So let me take you through this finding. Ray has a list of everything technology. Earl or Mike, whoever, we have a list of all of our maintenance inventory. We have a district asset tax. We've done everything. They're on 3 lists. Not good. They have to be on 1 list. But I hear. I didn't think of that, Nick. That was good. I like it too. Going forward, we will staple the lists together. That is an audit finding. We have everything, and we have everything. No, you're supposed to put it on one. Show me the guidance that said it had to be on 1. I can't find it anywhere. Yeah, the answer really should be, they're going to probably have to audit us for some more, so I want to be kind of tempered here, but that's a finding. Now, if you think that's the worst thing in the world, then so be it. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. So that was the third finding. And then the fourth finding.
And just, we also, the other part of that finding was that we, per their guidance, we are required to do hire an independent consultant for a biannual inventory. We previously did that every 3 years.
We did it.
Every 3 years.
We did it. Asset Works, is it called?
Yes.
It's called Asset Works. We did it. We told them that 16 times. And they wrote this in there. I don't know how to answer it. We have Asset Works. We have Asset Works. It's all tagged. So I'm not trying to be defensive or make fun of the federal auditors or anything. I just want you to know what was in an audit. So far, we've got a missing word, cares. We've got a policy that we followed, and we've got 3 lists. Last one.
So the last finding was around equitable services. So the first round of CARES, CARES or ESSER 1, Gear 1 funds that we received, it required that we as an LEA have to share that with non-public schools. So we consulted with, I believe it was 25. We had written LEA agreements with 25 non-public schools, did consultation, and there were, I believe, 4 of those schools, so those non-public schools requested that we send the funds to their LEA directly, meaning Buffalo, Grand Island. The finding is that we sent those funds in compliance with what the non-public school asked, but we did not get an LEA agreement with Buffalo or Grand Island.
So let me try that one. It was COVID. The non-pubs were entitled to their ESSA funds, gear funds. Because we had kids there, so we had to send the money. 21 of the non-pubs said, yeah, send it to us. We had a piece of paper that says it. Grand Island and Buffalo, the schools in Grand Island and Buffalo said, send it to Grand Island and Buffalo and they'll distribute it. We didn't stop and we have an agreement with the non-pub. We didn't stop and get an agreement with Buffalo or Grand Island.
did comply with what the non-public school asked us to do.
The money
Their
all
funds.
went to them.
Yes.
So again, I'm not trying to be sarcastic in any way. I just want you to know what was in an audit, because we pride ourselves in having nothing in audits. And no dollar, no product is missing, unaccounted for. It's the word Esser gear missing. It's 3 lists. It is a policy that you approved, and we didn't have an agreement with Buffalo and Grand Island, yet the money went to the proper places. So I just want you to see that. I want you to know that. It's a resolution. What happens from here? We send our responses back. Mr. Velardo, I would be careful not to send it that way. We send our responses back. I'm hoping that they'll remove these. If they don't remove these, then we'll tell you what they did or didn't remove, and we'll write a resolution. But I want to just reassure everyone, because next week you're going to hear from Drescher and Malecki, and we have prided ourselves, these ladies and Becky and the whole team, on no findings. They had to spend 2 years to get that. 2 years they spent. 2 years to get that. Yeah. So, again, the sarcasm is not intentional. It's just a statement about the efficiency of audits. And guess what? If we were doing something wrong, I want to be the first person to know and ask the team to correct it. I don't believe that those 4 things I indicated to you were, could we have stopped and written an agreement with Buffalo and Grand Island? Yes, we could have. Could we have gotten a stapler? Yes, we could have. Could we have typed gear in Esser? Yes, we could have. Could we have, we could have. But I just find that to be pretty picky. So I never would hide an audit finding from anyone, and I'm making it public tonight. We will make our responses known, and we'll go from there. Okay? Questions? Thank you. Marquez, you are wonderful.
Thanks.
Really. And I'm only teasing you when I pick on you.
I prepared for this.
Yeah, sometimes I get worked up, Harjot. I'm sorry. I take a lot of pride in what we do. You liked it? Thanks. Let's, members of the board, the final piece of information this evening is to remind you that next week we have an audit committee at 4 o'clock. The reason for the audit committee is that Drescher and Malecki will be here. To date, Julie or Marquesia, do we anticipate any audit findings? We don't anticipate any audit findings from Drescher and Malecki. They are off-site now compiling their report. I've asked to see the report because we don't interfere with it, but I've asked to see the report at 3 o'clock next week, 1 hour before the audit committee sees it. It'll be watermarked draft. We'll present it to the audit committee at 4, and then we will bring it to you at 5:30. Following that, the group of Tranconi and Segura are our new internal auditors. We're going to ask you to pass a resolution this next week to approve Tranconi and Segura as the internal auditors, and we'll go from there. Then we'll review the agenda. Members of the board, there will be an executive session, because that will not take us the full 90 minutes. So there'll be an executive session for a single-purpose personnel matter that I'll read at the time in the ensuing time that's left over on that agenda. That's why it's a little bit light. Otherwise, next week we will have our regular process. There is one bid. This bid is for our elevator repair and elevator lift maintenance. The continuing apparent low bidder is an elevator operator named DBC. Yeah, DBC has been working with us. Currently, DBC what is the apparent low bidder for this, and I get my letters confused a little bit. It's DCB. Yeah, you're right. I wrote DCB and said DBC. DCB. You've heard of them, obviously. Okay. They're from Lewiston. So we're going to recommend them as your elevator repair people. Mike, you have no problem with them? They're good? Okay. Let's just hope we don't need to call them a lot, okay? All right, but keep the elevator calls down. There's a minimum of under 6. Earl used to have 16, 17. Let's see how you do. Keep it under 6. I'm going to ask Maria to come forward to go through the certificated and classified reports. If you are ready, Miss Maria. What's that? DCB, yeah. No. Good to see you. Thank you so much.
All right, we'll begin with the certificated report. On page 1, you'll see we have rescinded a resignation. The individual decided to stay with us, and we are more than pleased. We do have a resignation of a special education teacher at LaSalle Prep. You'll see one probationary appointment there for you of a health teacher at Niagara Falls High School, regular substitute appointment of a music teacher at Gaskill Preparatory School, an involuntary transfer of an ELL teacher. The reason for that is to provide additional services to keep students in compliance at Gaskill Preparatory School. Following from page 3 to page 19, you will see again a significant amount of per diem and Schedule B work. We also have the per diem schedules D, E, F, and G. Next personnel report you will receive on Tuesday, and there will be some asterisks, but not many. If you have any questions between now and next Tuesday, please feel free to contact me.
I know you haven't seen it long, but if anything jumps out.
Moving on to the classified report, you'll see that this is not a large report. Your November report will be bigger, but we do have several probationary appointments of food service, assistant child care, Head Start, part-time cleaners, food service helpers, and you'll see the rescission of a part-time cleaner and a cleaner. Those folks decided to retreat to different positions. You'll see some temporary appointments there, a cleaner, a rescission of a temporary appointment, and some additional assistant child care associates. The reason that you're seeing us change assistant child care associates so frequently is because we are still balancing classes of special education students, and we continue to add our most needy special education students to the district at this time. Leaves of absence, involuntary transfers, and voluntary transfers. In addition, we have additional hours for translation services and after-school activities. Does anybody have any questions about the classified report? Thank you.
Thanks, Maria. Moving on to the short-term contracts. Thank you, Ray. Number 1, on October the 23rd, unfortunately, many of us can't be there that day. There will be an ENL parent reception, and this group is going to provide the food. It's paid for out of a grant. Number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 were all additions that we made last Saturday and on the 18th for our Saturday Academy. These were additional services that we brought in. I know Mr. Pareto and Ms. Dunn were there. They witnessed these. That one did occur. The next Saturday Academy is on the 18th at Bond. I'll talk about that in my concluding remarks. I would like to say, with respect to those, Mrs. Dunn is a very good line dancer. She performed boots on the ground like you can't believe. I did the fan while she danced, but it seemed like you had a good time. So I am really proud of our Saturday Academies. We had 200 students. Buffalo never had 200 students on any of their first groups. The next one will be at Bond on the 18th. We're hoping for 250 students to come out at breakfast. They had fun, It was a gorgeous day, so they mainly spent their time outside. Some of the inside activities weren't as well attended, but we offered them nonetheless. Yeah, sure.
I came early and then I had to come towards the end. But what I saw was a lot of folks got to speak to them. And of course, I love speaking to kids, especially our kids, our students. And I said, hey, how did everything go? They used one word. Great.
Good.
And I was like, ooh, not good, not, nothing.
Yeah.
Great. And enthusiastic.
Yeah.
So I said, man, this is good. So when I went in and got the gist of it, they were, it was all kinds of folks, and they loved it.
Yeah.
They loved it. But I'm so glad we had it.
So the research in Buffalo showed that any family that attended a minimum of 4 Saturday academies, there was a greater home school partnership. So we're tracking all of their attendance, and we'll see if that's true for us. It was wonderful. Bond on the 18th. Number 7, we're going to strike. Did and is not going to happen on the 18th. So we're going to take number 7 off for next week. Number 8 is, that's the famous dance and movement one for November. That's where there's a lot of dancing in the gym. That's for November. Number 9, we're also going to take off. Okay, so we're going to remove 7 and 8. There won't be any need to vote. Those are 2 activities that will not happen on the 18th. All right. Number 10. I'm sorry. 7 and on my list 7 and 9. Juicing and the one that was number 7. The therapy goats are not available on that day. They are at another commitment. I don't know where they are. I just made that up. We will not have the goats, and we will not have the juice on the. So there's no need for you to approve the. There's no need for you to approve the $175 and the $200. Okay. Number 10. This is a bit of belt and suspenders. I like to have an ambulance at our football games. We have not had success with a local company, but Mercy Flight will provide an ambulance. This is at our football games. We have Tony Serace, who is amazing, but we want to make sure that we double down on our safety with an ambulance on site. So that is to put an ambulance. That is not a requirement with somebody like Tony and his skill level, but God forbid one of our players gets significantly injured, and I pray that never happens. We want to have it. This is an ambulance. The company is called Mercy Flight, but it is an ambulance service, okay? And this was the one that was the lowest bidder and the one that would be available on the times that we need. Number 11 is, yeah. It's for every game. We've had them at every game. I don't know if you saw it, the game you were at, they were in the end zone, the far end zone by the school. So yeah, I am asking you to approve 2 games that they were at and 2 games going forward. I just felt that having an ambulance there was very important. Yeah. She Drums is a program that Miss Manella is bringing. It is an after-school program at Cataract. She's using grant funding to pay for that. If you look at the date on number 12 and many others, November 4th is a teacher professional development day. And we are putting forth a number of resolutions. Number 12 is for special education teachers. Number 13 is for more training in phonics and intervention programs. Number 14, there's no cost. It's just for an after-school program. We'll leave a bond. That's for insurance. Number 15 is a program that's coming to Hyde Park. It is Native American storytelling. Number 16, and that's paid for by Hyde Park's grant. Number 16 is a teacher resource center grant. Number 17, and I see Mr. Ruffalo here. We have Big Picture now at Niagara Falls High School. We also have a program called Rise Up. It is an after-school alternative program that I think is going pretty successfully, Nick. Yeah. It's going really successful. These are students that need some time after school. This is for mentoring after school. Louise Ferretti is for, this is if we need through a special education referral. Sometimes we need independent neuropsychological evaluations for exceptional children. We don't have that person of that, that certification on our staff, so we have to bid out for it. Number 19 is paid for by the Teacher Resource Center for trainings on behavior breakthrough. And number 20, again, is a staff development activity on the 4th of November, which happens to be Election Day, which is the day we use as a PD day. And we always, well, I always insist on the calendar that we have PD days on Election Day because 8 of our 11 schools are used as voting sites. Not that I don't care about the staff, but, you know, there's a little bit more freedom in terms of entering the door. We will have a police officer or safety officer at every door during election. Those are our short-term contracts. There will be none added. There will be 2 removed. 601 may or may not remain. 601 will be, if we get the results or the return on the audit that was just presented, we'll ask you, we'll tell you what the changes are, and then we'll ask you to support that or not. If we don't get it in time, yep. So that's that. I want to make you aware of that. That's to support that cap or not support that cap. The minute you vote on it, not the minute, the next day, Julie has to go into the state system and report it to the state. 602 is the report that Drescher and Malecki is going to give you. Again, I don't know what the contents of that is. We'll know it on Wednesday. 603, this is where we are going to ask you to approve one new internal auditing group. It's Tranconi and Segura. We took them from the BOCES bid. They're an allowable firm. Julie, and I don't know if Marquez, you work with them, have been very happy with them in their initial appearance. Comments? And what we really, and one of the reasons why we changed audit firms is because I don't think Julie or Marquez or Becky were satisfied with this. We did not like the virtual conversations. We wanted the auditing firm in district. And the previous one, it was all virtual until they came to the audit. Already, this firm has already been in to check out the district, so we're recommending that. 604, Ray just stepped away, but this is to bind cyber insurance. And I know we've talked about this. Some districts can't get cyber insurance. We are looking to increase our cyber insurance from $1 million to $2 million at a cost that's $500,000 less. So I think, Russ, you say this sometimes, it's very hard to get cyber insurance. Not only are we able to get it, we're able to get more of it and pay less for it. And he's not even in the room, but I really want to credit Ray because Ray is doing phishing tests, penetration tests, training. Everything is lined up in our technology world. So we're able to get that cyber insurance. You will now have $2 million worth of cyber insurance, and it's $5,000 less than we paid before.
Mr. Laurie?
Yeah.
I apologize, I don't have that one with me, but I read it carefully 2 times, and I was under the impression that we were getting $2 million more.
No, $2 million total, correct?
Total.
Ray is not here, I'm sorry. It's $2 million total, I believe. Okay. 605 is to accept $875,000 in a targeted priority and focused school grant. 606 is to accept $32,000 from the Community Development Block Grant for tutoring. That's a $32,000.
We used up more than that in paper.
Yeah. Did you see that? That's a lot of paper we go through. Not we. They make us go through a lot of paper. Okay, 60, Ray, the cyber insurance rate, it's $2 million total, is that correct?
I believe so. I can double check though.
Yeah, I think it's 2 million total, and we're paying a rate $5,000 less.
I do, yes. Reduction in costs, increased coverage.
Right. I believe it's 2 million more, 2 million total for $5,000 less.
Yes, sir.
607, this is like Reverend Copeland's program. This is Game On Entertainment. We've used them in the past. It's being paid for out of a 21st Century grant. It will service 225 students, 25 at LaSalle, 75 at Bond, 50 at Hyde Park, and 75 at Abbott. This group will come in and do after-school gaming with our kids in those schools. That's what it's for. 608 is Chef Bobby Anderson. You've met him a number of times. This will be paid for by a student mental health grant. Chef Bobby is servicing, in this semester, 60 Gaskill students, 40 Niagara Falls High School students. He's going to do a Saturday academy for 40 students from Niagara Falls High School. And we wanted to, and we've been asked over and over from GJ Mann to have something like this. So we're going to expand this to GJ Mann, and they're going to service between 55 and 60 students at GJ Mann. We haven't always given this kind of programming to every school. There's no reason why Mann students shouldn't access it, but this contract is for 200 students, and it's all in culinary and cooking and product. And I know we've sampled things, Mrs. Dunn, that they've made. And there's also a business that may be interested in completely employing, and I don't want to say too much right now, but I received a call yesterday about it, completely allowing our students to run a business within a business and provide the food under F-Bites. That's not part of this, but I did receive a call from them about Chef Bobby. It's exciting if it happens. 609 through 614, 609 through 615 are to release the retention payments for all of our contractors. We have held $825,548 of retention against all of these contractors. Why do we hold their money? Because we want them to finish the job. And what sometimes motivates somebody to finish the job? Holding their money. So this would allow us to pay out the retention once the capital project is done. We usually hold about 5%. We hold 5% of the total cost. The only one that is not 5% here is Danforth. We've paid Danforth already 2.5% of their money because they had a huge, they might have had 5% of close to 18 million. So we did release 2.5% earlier. All of these, except for the Danforth, to reflect 5% of what's left. The other reason why we have to release this money, if you would hopefully approve these, is because now the team over there, Richard, Marcasia, Becky, and Julie, have to file all of the forms with the state. I think it's the SA 139, final cost report, so that in our state aid payment, we get the 98% back, right? But we have to have that done by November 1st. So we have to pay everybody out, get the final cost report, have this team send it in, and then we'll get our money in our state aid runs. That's why this retention has to be released. The last two.
Is the problem at Gaskell completed?
It will be by next Friday. So there are three, if I may, thank you. There are three unfinished areas. Gaskill should be finished early next week. Mike, I don't know if you remember the date of the Gaskill stuff. Thursday. Next Thursday? Next Thursday, Gaskill will be done. Issue, Mike? Well, so we're not signing off on that. And, Mike, what was it again? I'm sorry. Can you give him the microphone, please?
There's a stuck reversing valve in the chiller, kind of tempers the air in the building, and it's kind of too warm right now. So like, the temperature is not as cool as it should be in the rooms, and there's condensate pumps that are dripping throughout the building here and there that they're addressing.
And the date of completion is next Thursday.
Is the shrubbery gonna be replaced?
The what?
The shrubbery can be replaced?
It's done.
It's already been?
Mike, the shrubbery?
Yep, it was done as of yesterday. Yep.
So that, the shrubbery was replaced now. The shrubbery, Mike took responsibility for that. I think, how many did you get? How many new arborvitaes?
We got 20 new arborvitaes.
Okay, so 20 new arborvitaes were put in around Gasco, yes. Okay? So that's done. The next issue that is not complete, and they will be on site on Wednesday of next week, is the greenhouse. The greenhouse has the shade to be put in, the rain sensors, and something else.
Panels. They're replacing a couple faulty roof panels, and the shades, and some rain controls.
Are those remote control,
Yes.
the shade?
Yeah. It gets pretty warm in there, so we get, now just so we all know, that's about a 60% shade. It's not 100% shade. It shades from Niagara Street back to Welch. It goes that far, but so if you go in there and the shade is down, notice there's about 30 or 40% that's not shaded. That should catch the sun. So it's a 60% shade, not 100% shade, am I right?
Correct.
All right. That is not in. There is at least one or two panels that we won't agree to that have to be fixed, and there's also going to be rain sensors. The final issue in the capital project that's not done is they're resetting one of the Hall of Fame walls. We've never been satisfied with it. They tried to patch it. We rejected it. It had to take 30 days to cure and then to be painted, I believe. And that is not done either. Those are the three unfinished parts of this capital project. Needless to say, we do need to, you can approve the retention payments, but I will not release the money, if this makes any sense, until it's done, until the company's done. But we need to get moving on our paperwork. I was told by BCC today, and they are going to be working on Monday, which is a holiday. We are allowing them to work on Monday with them paying for the overtime to really finish these three issues up. So they're going to work all next week, and we'll go from there. If there's no other questions, I'll move to 616. This is a change order. I want to be very didactic and go through this. This change order is for all of the secured vestibules. It's a compilation, right, Richard, of secured vestibules. We wanted the woodwork, we wanted everything to be unique. The original drawings had some standard work done. I didn't want high school's new counter to stick out differently. We added a counter there. We added some different touches to make the secured vestibules look like they were always part of the school. And the drawings didn't always do that. So that's partly on the architect, that's partly on me or us for not catching everything. That's the first change order. It's all around secured vestibules. The second change order, this is the one for, it's $2,203. This is for additional, can you speak it into the mic, please?
Yeah, that's for relay modules for shutdown operation on fans.
Okay, so we had to have, I don't know what that means, but we had relay modules for shutdown unit. Mike, what does that mean? Do you know? Mike? Yeah, Mike, Mike knows. I don't know. What is it, Mike?
Yeah, so we've been having an issue with the fans.
Louder.
We've been having an issue with the fans, so like the relays are gonna slow them down. Like, kind of pace them down for the shut-offs, so when to slow them down a little bit easier on the equipment.
So that's a $2,203 change order. Let me just tell you this. Overall, on $29.3 million, you hopefully will approve $287,012.88 in change. When I deduct the owner requested change orders, the cost of change orders on this $29.3 million project was $169,722, less than a percent on change orders that were not owner directed. There was an owner directed change order to, for instance, we put a handicap ramp and railing at the CEC. That I counted that as an owner directed one. That's something we did. What was it? What would be another one? Oh, remember we removed the oil tanks, the 2 oil tanks? I wasn't sure if we'd have the money to do that. We did, so we removed the oil tank here and the oil tank at CEC. That was a change order because that's how we had to file it. That shouldn't go against our, I don't count that against our, an architectural miss.
Can I ask our auditor a question?
Yeah, you can ask anybody you want.
Do we know who took out the tank?
Yeah.
No, sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah. What company took it out? Do you remember?
Never mind.
I don't remember, but I can look.
I mean, it might have been a tree.
No, it was a tank. I can't remember either. I know, here's what I do know. The DEC stood there and watched us do both. I'm like, okay, I do know this. Yeah. I was like, who is this person? Who is this person watching us? It was the DEC to watch us remove the tank. Yeah, and I do know, I'm thanking God, knocking on wood, there were no issues. The point is, we spent money on that, and it's counted in the change order compilation of dollars. We don't have any policies to adopt. If you scroll ahead, Ray, I want to point the November meetings out for a particular reason. Yeah, this is why I wanted Ray to scroll ahead. You have 2 meetings in November, one on the 6th and one on the 20th. We do have to give you a head start update on the 20th to be in compliance. But the only agenda item on the 6th, which will be a short one, is I'm going to bring the Maestro team here. This is the case, the court case. I want to bring a gentleman who's been on this and actually was he your superintendent, Cheryl, Bill Lynch? So I want to bring in Cheryl Villardo, superintendent from Syracuse, who was on the team, just to give an evaluation of her. No, I'm kidding. He's going to come with some of the attorneys who may be on the screen to give you an update on the Maestro case. You've asked for this. I can't do it justice. I just can't. So between Bill Lynch and the attorneys from the team, you deserve, because you have been up to the last payment, been paying into this since 2010 to the tune of close to $700,000. And we have not paid, we've paid our dues, but we have not paid for any other litigation expenses. And I've told them that. And I told them, I want you to know, I've told them that the board has been, we're down to 5, right? There's 5 of us. Our board is one of them, along with Jamestown and 3 others. We've been steadfast in this, but they need some answers. And I can't ask them for another dime until they have answers. That's why that's on here. It is. It just ponged to the other side, Nick.
Goes to the appellate court. Well, we did. And then they kick it up to another court. They approve it, then it goes back, they reapply to another lower court, and they start all over again. It's like it's crazy. It's crazy.
We're going to wait this out. And then we won. So what's the relief, and how are we going to get the relief, and when are we going to get the relief?
You just can't figure it out.
Yeah. So I really would rather do this, and this is what the attorneys asked, and I would ask you this. I know I have a few questions of my own, but if you as a board member have a question, can you send it to me or call me with it so I can send them the questions ahead of time if there's something you want to know, so that they're prepared for it and they know where you're coming from, and they can have data for you on it.
What is
So,
the expected end?
got it. Yeah, and you can, yeah, expected, best scenario. Please think of more before that meeting, we'll do this again. But they're happy to come and present, but they'd like to know, you can ask them anything you want, but they'd like to know if there's any pressing questions you want answered before. That's the 6th. There is a block for executive session, as we talked about, and then the 20th.
Are they gonna give us a scenario or what their opinion would be of winning this case? I know we won it, but if the state's gonna come through with any
Yep.
money on it.
I'll ask them for that too. Yep. Keep texting, keep calling me. I promised them if they came, to be fair to them, I'd give them as many questions ahead of time as I possibly could. But if you got a question off the cuff, nothing's gonna stop you from asking that. Right? We'll give Harjot all the hard questions, right? So, members of the board, viewing public, that's what we have for you tonight. School continues to, let me just tell you, I have a very short closing report. Our next Saturday Academy is the 18th, and it's at Bleneva Bond. Number 2, I want to congratulate a teacher from Bleneva Bond. I believe it's Silvana Benura. Is that her first name, Maria? Grade, do you know? Rick? What grade, you know? Silvana is a kindergarten teacher at Bleneva Bond School. She applied for and received $12,000 worth of school supplies for her school. So I wanted to call out and congratulate Silvana for her work getting $12,000 of school supplies for Bond. I just got that. The announcement just came out yesterday, but I'm really happy to announce that. Saturday Academy, and really, we're into week 6 of school. Can't believe it. We're into week 6 of school. Kids are settling in. I know that we had a conversation with Mr. Ventry, just to really, let's really get back on cell phones. Let's not let that slip. We've invested too much. We had an excellent start with that. Let's not let that slip, because human nature is about keeping stamina for tough things like that. And I just want you to know he and the staff are on that. Nothing major to report on that. It's just human nature, right? If you don't stay on something, things slip. So Mr. Ventry continues in the great manner of which Ms. Filardo and other leaders have led Niagara Falls High School. So I'm really proud of that team, as I am with all the other teams. Members of the board, that's all I have for you this evening. Thank you, Mr. Brito.
You folks have a good week. And a better tomorrow, yes. Take care. Good to see everybody.